Welcome to Section 4 of Chapter 15, Detail Components. We're going to use detail components in Revit to enhance our model geometry by providing construction details with more information on them. Detail components are Revit families that can be placed in drafting views or detail views or really any other view necessary to add additional information to the model. They offer a faster method of detailing than drawing individual detail lines. So let's take a look at what a detail component is, how we'll use it, and where we're going to find them. If we look at this typical detail in our Revit project, we've been working with this on previous sections, you'll see that there is a lot of information here. And really, it's all model information, minus the few filled regions that we were able to generate in here. Now, there's a lot of still information missing from this detail that would be helpful in a construction drawing set. So we're going to add detail components to help this detail. So the detail component command is located under the Annotate tab, under Component, and we have detail component and repeating detail component. Now, don't be confused by the fact that we have another component icon here under our Annotate tab, because we do still have under the Architecture tab, we'll call it the regular 3D component icon here. This is not the component command we're going to want to use to add detail components. We want to use the Annotate component detail component command. Detail components, I'm going to click on the icon here and initiate the command. We have two types. We have the actual standalone detail component, where if I have a detail component selected over here and I click, I can place a detail component that looks like something, some type of construction element. In this case, it is a 2x8 stud cut. Now, that is a standalone detail component. The second type of detail component we have is a repeating line-based detail component. So something where I click, I move in the direction I want to go, and a line-based detail component is generated. So things like plywood or brick or different things like that where you need a length and a repeating pattern, that's going to be a line-based detail component or a repeating detail component. These detail components are meant to be placed over the top of your model, and they obscure the model beyond them, and they add detail to your construction documents. So I'm putting some detail components in our model here, and I'm placing them in kind of very silly, weird places, but I just want to illustrate how these are going to function within your model. Okay, so things like brick veneer or plywood or cut wood studs. Another type of detail component is going to be insulation. So I've got my insulation icon here, and I'm going to specify a width for it, 3.5 inches, and then I'm going to draw a length of insulation wherever it needs to go. Click, click. So we're going to add in this family type format these detail components to our models. Now, they are most appropriate in a detail view, but of course we could add them to any view that we needed to. These are view specific, which means that when I add them to this detail view, they're only seen in this detail view. They don't show up anywhere else in the model. Inherently, the architectural template that we started this file with has several different types of detail components contained within it, but you can also browse out and insert more detail components into your models as necessary. And very literally, there are probably thousands of detail components within the Revit Imperial Library that you can use. So if I go to the Insert tab and I go to Load Family, and in my Imperial Library here, I go to Detail Items. All of these different detail items are organized according to the CSI specification divisions. If I go into, for example, metals, and I go into steel framing, and we've got steel angles cut from the side, cut from the end. Here's a bunch of different detail components that can be placed in your model. We've got different finish type detail components. Let's look at our finishes. Plaster and gypsum board. Let's go to gypsum. There is a gypsum plaster section. Let's look at gypsum board here. Here's a bullnose. right? We have a lot of different detail components that we can add to our projects. I just loaded in a gypsum board detail component. I'm going to add another one in here. Let's go to detail items again. Let's go to, let's see, where's a good one here, right? Let's go to finishes, and let's go to tiling, ceramic tile, and we have some different sections of tile that we can use, right? Just going through here to show you some of the different things that we can add with regards to detail. We've got woods and plastics, we've got sheathing, we've got plywood sections, right? These will be great for your detail component or your details here to add into your details. I can go back to load family and we can find some furniture detail components. Oop, no, we cannot there. Detail items, and let's go to plumbing fixtures, right? So here's a kitchen sink, different things that, you know, we can add into our drawings to add detail. So any type of detail view, we're going to add detail components to help us make this look like a set of construction drawings, essentially. Now they'll be placed over the top of the model, and they will be used, and when they're used, they are view specific. This ends the detail component section of Chapter 15.